Chapter 4. Choosing a Form of Business Ownership by Garrett Hamill. Introduction to Business. First, we're going to look at sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is a business that is owned and usually operated by one person. Sole proprietorship is the simplest form of business ownership and easiest to start. There are approximately 23 million non-farm sole proprietorships in the United States. This accounts for 72% of the country's business firms. Now taking a look at some of the advantages of a sole proprietorship. The first advantage is the simplest and cheapest way to start a business. This can be established without the services of an attorney. Legal requirements are limited to registering the name and business and obtaining license. Profits earned are taxed to the person's income of the owner. The owner is able to make all decisions without asking permission from anybody else. Some of the following disadvantages of sole proprietorship would be unlimited liability. This makes the owner responsible for all debts of the business. Lack of continuity, meaning when the owner retires or dies, the business ceases to exist. Lack of money. Banks, suppliers, and other lenders are often unwilling to lend large sums of money. Limited management skills. The owner is all around. They sell, clean, and do all the accounting on their own. It's difficult to hire employees because there is no room for growth and advancement in such a small business. Partnership. A partnership is a voluntary association of two or more persons who act as co-owners of a business for profit. Types of partnership. General partner is a person who assumes full or shared responsibility for operating a business. A limited partner is a person who invests money in a business but who has no management responsibility. The advantages of a partnership are the following. Ease of startup. Limited to registering the name and a business, obtaining license, and permits to start. Availability of capital and credit. Partners pool money together, therefore capital is coupled with the general partners. Unlimited liability encourages banks and suppliers to extend more credit. Personal interest. The owners have to be concerned with the actions of their partners as well as their own. Retention of profits. Share profits directly. No special taxes. Each partner is required to share his or her profits and losses on their individual tax returns. Next, we're going to take a look at the corporation side of things. Corporation is an artificial person created by law with most of the legal rights of a real person, including the rights to start, operate a business, to buy and sell property, to borrow money, to sue or be sued, and to enter a binding contract. Closed corporation. This is a corporation whose stocks are owned by relatively few people and is not sold to the general public. An open corporation is one whose stocks can be bought and sold by any individual. Next, we're here to take a look at advantages of a corporation. Limited liability. Feature of corporation ownership that limits each owner's financial liability to the amount of money he or she has paid for stock. Ease of raising capital. A corporation can borrow money from the bank and can also raise money by selling stock. Ease of transfer of ownership. Practically no restrictions apply for the sale and purchase of stock in an open corporation, therefore making this very easy to start up. The disadvantages of a corporation is it's difficult and expense formation. Starting a corporation is complex because it requires an attorney to complete legal forms to give to the Secretary of State. Government regulations and increased paperwork. has to meet government standards before it can sell stock to public. It must file reports on business operations, and they make periodic reports to stockholders. This requires many employees to get it all done, such as accountants, attorneys, etc. Double taxation. Corporations must pay taxes on their profits, and stockholders must pay personal income taxes on profits received as dividends. Now we will look at the three types of special business ownership: limited liability companies, S corporations, and non-profit corporations. Limited liability company, or LLC, is a form of business ownership that combines the benefits of a corporation and a partnership while avoiding some of the restrictions and disadvantages of those forms of ownership. Pass-through taxation provides protection for acts and debts of the LLC, and it provides more management flexibility with fewer restrictions. An S corporation is a corporation that is taxed as though it was a partnership. They have no more than 100 stocks allowed. Stockholders must be individual estates and certain trusts. They can only be one class of outstanding stocks. The firm must be domestic corporation eligible to file S corporation status. There can be no partnership, corporation, or non-resident alien stockholders. All stockholders must agree to the decision to form an S corporation. Non-profit corporation is a corporation organized to provide a social, educational, religious, or other service rather than earn profit. Various charities, museums, private schools, colleges, charitable organizations are organized in this way primarily to ensure limited liability. Joint ventures is an agreement between two or more groups to form a business entity in order to achieve a specific goal or to operate a specific period of time. Once the goal is reached, the period of time elapsed, or the project is complete, the joint venture will dissolve. We have seen this in some big oil companies. They have done this in order to share extremely high costs of exploring offshore petroleum deposits. A syndicate, a temporary association of individuals or firms organized to perform a specific task that requires a large amount of capital. Syndicates are usually used to underwrite large insurance policies, loans, and investments. To share the risk of default, banks have formed syndicates to provide loans for developing countries. In conclusion, Chapter 4 has taken us into the possible ways to start all different types of businesses. Throughout this chapter, it is very apparent to see the main advantages and disadvantages that each venture or business has. From the smallest sole proprietorship to the largest corporation, all business takes on a certain responsibility that takes a special person to be able to become successful.